What's up, everybody? I'm Mckenty. This is my second channel. This is where I talk about business and marketing and entrepreneurship, all kinds of other stuff that is not directly related to music. What I wanted to talk about today is a brand new project, well, kind of sort of brand new, that I'm very excited about. I am writing a book. So in this video, I wanted to talk about kind of the bigger picture of what is in the book, why I chose to write the book, give you an idea of where I'm at on it, kind of the process, and when you can expect to actually see something. The way that I'm thinking about the book as of now, and this may change, but I feel pretty confident about this direction, is something like Tools of Titans or Extreme Ownership for Hardcore Kids. I need to think of like a cool, snappy tagline for it, that would go on the bottom of the book, like the subtitle, but something along the lines of a how-to guide to be a successful, happy person, both professionally and personally. So if you want to start a business of any kind, if you want to be a professional creator of some sort, or a freelancer, or you just kind of generally want to get your life in a better place, then hopefully this book will give you some like really specific, concrete ways to do that. That's my goal. And I won't pretend to have life all figured out or anything like that by any means. I'm not, Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or Lady Gaga or whoever. I'm nobody particularly special, but I will say that I have learned a lot. And if you took me at 23 and you showed me my life now, I'd be pretty happy about it. Like if you're to tell me, hey man, I know right now it's not looking so good, you're not feeling great about where you're at, but hang in there, it's gonna be okay. Look, just keep doing what you're doing and you're gonna end up here. I would be like, whew, all right, cool, I'm on the right path. And so this book is essentially going to be everything that I have learned so far, either from my own experience or from observing other people, distilled down into a set of, I think, maybe 20 or so chapters. Each chapter is going to be one particular kind of idea or guideline or principle with an example from our world of music and alternative culture and art and design or whatever, who has done that thing, along with my own analysis on how to put that in action. For example, one key idea that I'm writing about right now is don't wait for permission. You see so many people who have an idea for like a business or a project or some kind of creative thing, but they never actually do it because they're just stuck waiting for like the universe to come along and give them a thumbs up or something like that. Stuck in like the perpetual planning or research stage, telling themselves, well, I'm gonna start this thing as soon as I buy this piece of gear, or as soon as I learn how to use this piece of software, or as soon as I'm done with this other thing, then I'm gonna start this thing. And they keep telling themselves this forever and ever and ever, and they never end up actually doing the thing. And I'm going to illustrate this by talking about some people who did the opposite of that, and they just started. SST Records, Black Flag's label. Started by Greg Ginn, originally to put out their own records, because back then, there weren't really any labels that were putting out underground punk or hardcore records. And so Greg said, fuck it, I guess I'll start my own label. And then, of course, they went on to have other bands on the label like the Minutemen and Husker Du and Soundgarden and Sonic Youth. But originally, it was just to put out their own records. And did he know anything about running a label? Fuck no. But instead of sitting there forever planning and researching and waiting for the universe to come along and give him the green light, he just fucking did it. And same thing with touring. There was no infrastructure back in like 1980 for a touring hardcore band. Black Flag largely invented that as well. They had their own vehicle. They even brought like their own PA system. They booked all their own tours, just pounding the phones every day from the office they all lived in. Again, did they know anything about booking tours? No, but they just started, they figured it out, and they created this playbook that the rest of us now use. Ultimately, I think that mindset is maybe the more important part of this, and so I'm gonna focus a little bit more on that in the book, I think. All the ways that we hold ourselves back with self-limiting thinking, or as Ramit Sethi calls it, invisible scripts, and how to overcome that self-limiting thinking, tear up those invisible scripts that hold us back. But I don't want to just stop there, because you guys know I like practical, nitty-gritty, detailed shit. So I also want to couple that with, now that you've got your head in the right place, how do you actually put this into practice? Stuff like how to network and introduce yourself to people, how to pitch people on deals and opportunities, some basic things about like personal finance and how to fund a project. One big thing is learning how to ask for money, whether that is from investors or clients. I mean, I think probably 99% of creative people hate asking for money. I certainly don't enjoy it, but you gotta learn how to do it. For one, you have to get over the fear of asking for money. And second, you have to know the mechanics of asking for people in the right way, such that when you do, they say yes. Because the only thing worse than asking for money is hearing no. So that's kind of a big picture idea of what to expect from the book. 20 or so kind of lessons or principles or ideas, along with some specific guidelines on how to apply those things to your personal or professional life. But the question I really had to answer to myself is, why would I do this? Like, why does the world need this? Why should I spend a year or so of my time writing this thing? Because that's how long it's gonna take, I think. And it took me a while to have an answer to that. I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Why would the world need a book for me? There are a lot of business and self-help kind of books out there, and I think a lot of them are very good. I've read tons of them and they help me a lot, but none of them are really written for us. They're written for normies or civilians or whatever word you want to use. And the reason why that matters is because what works for them, the normies and civilians, oftentimes won't really work for us. We are sort of like idiot savants, might be the right word. We are super, super strong in ways where a lot of civilians typically aren't, and vice versa. For example, if somebody said, hey, you've got 2 weeks to book a 30-city tour using nothing but your phone, and you have to live off of $30 a day when you're on tour, like most of us would go, all right, well, that won't be easy, but I can do it. Whereas the average civilian would be like deer in the headlights, terrified of that, because that's not a thing that normal people ever do. So we're super strong in that way, but then when it comes to something like your credit score or networking with people at a trade show or something, stuff that to civilians is super easy, we're like helpless babies that have no idea what we're doing. So I think all those other books that are out there are great. It's just that they aren't really for us because we are just not their target audience. We are not civilians. We're cut from a different cloth. And I realized that nobody has ever really written something that is for us, by us. And as far as what's in it for me, I think that usually the best way to help yourself is by helping other people. Like if you write a successful book, that opens up all kinds of doors and opportunities that I'm not gonna say would be closed to you, but it's just kind of a thing that having a book is like the key to unlocking a lot of doors. I've seen this happen with other people a bunch. And when I think about the person that I wanna be in 3 or 4 or 5 years, being a published author is one of the things that that person has done. And I don't know what exactly those doors will be exactly. Will it be starting a company? Will it be consulting? Will it be speaking to Microsoft or whatever at their keynote? I don't know. But I'm confident that those opportunities will come. And even if they didn't, I still think it would be worth doing because having a book, especially a self-published one, can be a nice little source of passive income. You know, if I was to sell 50 of these a month or something like that, that's a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s a month of passive income. That doesn't suck. So I don't have some like super grand, precise plan about exactly how this is going to work out for me, but everything in my life has taught me that the best thing you can do is just make stuff, make the best stuff you can, put it out into the world, get into people's hands, and good things will happen. So I'm just kind of trusting that. And as far as the process goes, I'm not trying to rush it. You know, I know there's people that write a whole book in like a month, but I don't think that's how you make a great book. I think that's how you barf out kind of an okay book that you can pass out to people almost like a business card. But I don't think that's how you write a book that is really going to change people's lives and become something that stands on its own as a great piece of work, which is what I want to do. Like I would want my book to stand next to someone like Tim Ferriss or Ryan Holiday or Gary Vaynerchuk as something that even if you don't know who I am, you think my book can stack up to their work. That's the standard I'm setting for myself, and that does not happen quickly. That takes a lot of work. It's kind of trying to write 1 or 2 pages a day. As I think Tim Ferriss said, like 2 shitty pages a day. I'm not quite hitting that 2 shitty pages a day mark yet, so maybe I need to push myself a little bit more. But that's kind of my plan, just chipping away at it every single day, so that a year from now, I'll have my first rough draft of say 250 pages. As of now, my plan is to self-publish, but if somebody comes along and offers me the right deal, I would certainly be open to it, but I don't need that. I know how to design books. I know how to market stuff. I know how to run an e-com store, so I know that I can publish this myself. So I look at it kind of the same as a musician like, say, Ghostmane, who's doing great on his own as an independent artist. But if someone wants to come along and talk about giving him a deal, well, he'll talk to him, but he's going to do that deal on his own terms because he knows that he doesn't need it. Right now, I have kind of a loose outline of the book written, and I'm just filling it in a little bit every day, doing stuff like transcribing podcasts, getting feedback from some people I know on kind of early ideas, just trying to chip away at it. Like I said, my goal is to have a rough draft by the end of this year, by the end of 2021, and hopefully publish it like early to mid 2022, I think. It's a little too early to share anything just yet, but I will put out a sample chapter once I have one, and I'll talk more along the way as I kind of make more progress on the book. And if you want to get updated on that, the best way that you can do that is to sign up for my mailing list. There's a link to that in the description of this video if you want to do that. I send out a link every week with the videos on my main channel, my second channel, podcasts, if I do any like press or other stuff that you guys might be interested in. Also links to what I'm listening to, reading, and watching, so you can check that out if you want. So that's where I'm at on the book. It's definitely an intimidating amount of work. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna be a beast, but I know that if I pull this off, which I believe that I can, I really truly think this is gonna be a great piece of work that will hopefully change people's lives for the better. So thank you to everybody who's supported. Let me know what you would like to see in the book, and I will see you next time.